Could we be about to enter a skippable boss fight utopia? South of Midnight has shown it's possible without destroying the very fabric of the universe. Now, tell me, you're a player, right? You play video games. Has it ever crossed your fucking mind, in any literal sense, right? Because we've all had those boss fights where we were like, fuck, man, I'm tired of losing to this fucking thing. Blah, blah, blah. Outside of a tongue-in-cheek, ironic, whatever the fuck way, I'm raging, I'm just saying shit way, right? Has it ever crossed your fucking mind to unironically skip a boss fight? Who thinks of shit like this? In a gaming world increasingly built out of Souls-likes, where the concept of boss battle becomes the central game mechanic, some of us have been left behind. No, you were never ahead to begin with. You were never with the pack to begin with. I have always hated boss fights, said no one who actually plays video games ever. And while I have no interest in convincing anyone else to agree with me, I have long lamented the lack of accommodation made for the many other people who are already with me. That is very few fucking people that are with you. You're outnumbered on that sentiment, bro. I guarantee it. I'd put my nuts on it. But sniff the air. Something's changing. I recently loaded South of Midnight, interested to check out such a gorgeous looking game, and was immediately delighted by the art and the extraordinary performances in the cutscenes. But then, as Zach warned us, I was immediately underwhelmed by the repetitive combat. So that just means the game's ass. Why would you buy it? Why didn't you just get a refund? But nah, we're gonna make concessions for ass games because they're politically expedient for me. However, while idly fiddling through the game's settings to see what was what, I saw a toggle I absolutely was not expecting. Boss skip option. In 2017, I wrote one of the most controversial articles of my career. A piece for which I received literal death threats. No, you didn't. Alongside hundreds of more banal insults and wishes for my imminent demise. No, you didn't. You probably got some hate. No one gave you death threats. I don't fucking believe you. You never show them. And every time you say you get a death threat, it's somebody saying, go die in a fire. That's not a fucking threat. Go play in traffic. That's not a fucking threat. Go jump in a lake. It's not a fucking threat. Kill yourself. That's not a fucking threat. None of those are threats. As someone battle-hardened by oh my God. As someone battle-hardened by Gamergate, allow me to write another article about how much I hate playing video games. It takes quite a bit for the scale of a backlash to take me by surprise. And while I knew it would piss some people off, I didn't predict the volume. I wrote an article suggesting that boss fights should be skippable. Imagine my temerity. There are so many games I've never seen the end of, but for YouTube, I suppose, because I just wasn't physically capable of completing the later bosses. What do you mean? Like, do you have a working set of thumbs? I would think so, considering you're typing this article. I've never finished a Metroid Prime game, for instance, despite it being one of my all-time favorite gaming series. I don't believe you. I don't fucking some shit your favorite and you've never finished it. I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. There are other games I've been enjoying so much, but just had to abandon because every so often there would be a difficulty spike of such enormous disproportion that eventually I'd lose all will to try. And to be abundantly clear, this isn't just about my incompetence. Debatable. There are obviously a billion boss fights I've successfully completed, but almost none I've even vaguely enjoyed. Seriously? Again, I don't believe you. In both directions, honestly. If you have finished many boss fights, there's no way you didn't enjoy at least one. And if you haven't, you're just fucking lying. Whatever. For me, and millions of others, there are mostly tedious obstacles that get in the way of enjoying the rest of the game. What the fuck do you mean? Boss fights are just an obstacle that get in the way of the game? Alright, whatever. So it struck me, why not just let me skip past them? Who loses out? I guess not you, since you don't care. Well, it turns out the answer to that question in 2017 was very angry people. No. You see, people weren't angry because you wanted to personally skip the boss fight. They were angry because they knew what being able to skip boss fights would mean. And I'm pretty sure you got some actual arguments from people instead of just angry vitriol. None of those will be outlined in this article, of course, but I know they fucking exist because they're the same ones we've been saying the entire time. For reasons never quite comprehensively elucidated, my being able to carry on playing a game I like without finishing a specific fight causes them great personal injury. That's not what the fuck the article was about at all. You just said what the article was about. You said boss fights should be skippable. The article was not about you not being able to beat the boss. It was about, man, we should really take out a core mechanic and core feature of most video games because I suck. That was the article. To skip over a boss is, I was told, you were not told it was a moral affront. Go fuck yourself. I was told both a moral and physical affront. You were not told this. And the addition of such an option very likely destroy video games, if not all of society. You were not told that last part, you piece of shit. You were told it would very likely destroy video games, and those people aren't wrong. Every game that has that option in it is slop. It's not good. Even you praising a shit game, a game by your own admission has repetitive, tedious, and boring combat, is being used as your centerpiece to further fuck up gaming. This is your example, an example that you don't even enjoy. Are you kidding? It's like they don't even realize what they're typing on the fucking article. Like, self-awareness is zero. Oh, man. And yet, in the month since South of Midnight released, I have yet to witness the collapse of humanity because nobody bought the fucking game. In fact, I've heard only very few people talking about it. Yeah, because nobody fucking bought it. Just because people hold an opinion doesn't mean they don't gravitate to shit they actually want to pay for. Those two things can coexist and have nothing to do with each other. This is not the very first time a game has offered a way past tough spots. A fair few big name games have had options to let you skip entire missions should you fail them enough. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Days Gone, for instance, while many others will offer to lower the difficulty if you're flailing, but it's still vanishingly rare. And South of Midnight is the only instance of specifically being able to skip the bosses that I'm aware of. Let me know of other examples. And it harms no one, not even that guy, you know, Dave, the one who still unironically says get good. I mean, get fucking good. His point still fucking stands, get good. And you see, this argument is fallacious anyway. It just lets more people play more games the way they want to. Yeah, because that's what it's about. Being able to play games the way you want to, right? Yeah, bullshit. This argument is fallacious because nobody is saying that a person is harmed physically or bodily by it. They're saying it hurts the culture. They're saying it hurts gaming. And it fucking does. That's one less good game that was able to be made. This game is taking up shelf space for the next masterpiece that no one has any interest in making outside of indies with less resources, might I add. But I wouldn't expect a games journalist to give a fuck about that. But you know what? It used to be commonplace. It was incredibly rare that a game didn't ship with a suite of hidden cheat codes. That is way different than the shit you motherfuckers are trying to make gaming do. Cheat codes were most often secret. They weren't just handed to you for no fucking reason. You'd have to call a hotline or buy a strategy guide or beat a certain level in order to get the cheat code. You'd have to find that shit out from your friend or some shit. They weren't just handed to you. You'd find them in the next edition of your favorite gaming magazine, yep, and then type them in to become invincible or have infinite ammo and then blitz through the boss that was troubling you. Yeah, but that was back when games were fucking cheap as shit and unbalanced and completely fucking unfair. Then people got the idea, maybe we should make these more feasible. And you see less of that. Now there's this thing called progression. And as the game continues, you just get progressively more overpowered. And by the end of the game, you are the strongest you ever will be. And pretty much nothing can kill you. That's how the game should work. You unlock all the abilities and you're fucking virtually unstoppable. And yet the schools remained open. The supermarket still had toilet paper on sale. Everything was still okay. Ha, you're so funny. If anything, not being able to cheat past an impossible boss is the crime against nature. I disagree with that. I'm fairly certain this has appeared in South of Midnight as a consideration for accessibility. And that's wonderful. I'm sure it is to you. It's worth noting, the game even lets you skip combat, although given how dull it is, this seems to fix another issue entirely. Again, they admit that the game is shit, and they're still using it as a centerpiece for how great accessibility is. The only thing you've proven is that this ethos ruins gaming, because we know what they're focusing on. Fuck gameplay. Gameplay is an afterthought. It's story and accessibility first. In the last few years, we've seen a dramatic change in how AAA games are being made, with the needs of players put front and center. A few big name games launch these days without offering a wealth of incredibly specific options, allowing people to tailor games to their specific requirements. Which is all well and good until you reach a difficulty spike boss fight in which all such amenities seem to get thrown out of the window. I mean, they're telling you out loud what they want. They want accessibility features to be able to make the game easier. It has nothing to do with disabled people. They're literally telling you what the fuck they want out loud. And they're gonna continue to fucking use disabled folk as a shield. They want accessibility options to be able to cheese games. That's what they want. But every time you see a set of fucking difficulty modifiers, there's always some dickhead jumping out of the fucking floorboards to yell, "It's just options! How does the way somebody plays their own personal game affect your experience?" Don't worry, we'll get to that. Keep that in mind. Or you. Be good enough at this bit, no matter your specific situation or you're done playing. It's called being filtered. Like, get good or get lost, period. I tell the story all the time about how in Bloodborne, I was stuck on the Orphan of Cause boss fight for 3 months, and I fucking put the game down. Well, I wasn't stuck on it for 3 months. I was stuck on it for a few hours, but I put the game down for 3 months. And then I fucking came back and I beat the boss fight. It doesn't fucking matter when you beat the game. It literally doesn't matter. It's okay to not complete a game, and that was DLC anyway. I had long since beaten Bloodborne. It's okay to not complete a game, and it's okay to take a long break from a game. Nobody fucking cares. No one gives a shit. I promise. It's when you enter discussions acting like you're an authority on something where people tell you to sit down and shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking about. That's the only time. As long as you're not doing that, no one gives a shit. But could South of Midnight be the start of a trend? And no, Dave, I don't mean I'm demanding that Souls-like games in which the entire point is mastering the techniques required for all 8 trillion bosses all let me skip over every moment. See, and this is the thing, this is the other thing they're doing. They're using Souls games as a shield as well. They want you to focus on Souls games and games that are like that where they don't have difficulty selection so that you forget about all the other games that do. It's called obfuscation. It's not just about Souls likes. What about other games that are about being challenging that do have difficulty settings? Doom was one of those games, dude, and it's happening to that. And their excuse is, well, Doom isn't a Souls like. Man, I mean, it'd be brilliant if they did. I'd love to explore the lands between because that place looks amazing, if not for all the immediate death. As games superbly copy one another with their accessibility options, could we start to see the boss fight skip button become standard? I fucking told you. They want this shit to be a standard across all of gaming. You heard it here first, bro. The year 2025. They want accessibility options that include skipping combat and skipping boss fight to be standard across all games, not just Souls games, all of them. And they're using a game that they don't even fucking like as the centerpiece and launchpad for this ethos. Pay attention to that. It might not be about whether or not the game's good. It might be about something else more than the actual enjoyment of the fucking game. They might care about that thing more. It's an impossible thing to believe in because we're never allowed nice things. The gatekeeping around the topic is about as fierce as anything gets in this hobby. You damn fucking right. People creep into all the pop culture spaces and try to transmogrify them into some fucking weird and lame shit. No, we do not want boss fights and fucking combat encounters being skippable to be a standard. You claim Doom as your next franchise in the great accessibility initiative. And guess what? The game's flopping. That shit is only gonna continue. People are starting to catch on to the fact that this accessibility in gaming bullshit is also a part of woke ideology. Slowly they're catching on, but I still allow myself a glimmer to stare through the crack in the wall South of Midnight has offered at the beautiful sunlit fields beyond. There you go.